Hey, it's Smart Asshole here, and welcome to my second video. So today I'm going to be talking about my old pedophile roommate, or rather, plunger ass. Now I'll get to why I call him that in a minute, but first, I'm going to go and start off with how I met him. I met plunger ass after I had been sent to Infantry Training Battalion, or ITB, which is basically where infantrymen like myself go to actually learn how to be infantry after boot camp. Even back then, plunger ass was always this awkward and really creepy guy, but I was nice and I decided to be friendly with him. To kind of give you an idea of how awkward he actually was though, one weekend when we were all hanging out, he decided to give this random girl at a table a rose without saying a single word and giving this really creepy grin just the entire time. We'll fast forward a little bit and we all get sent to our units, and who would have thunk it? He's in my platoon and he's a huge fuck up. So much of a fuck up that actually midway through training for our deployment, he actually tells command that he doesn't believe he should be in the platoon anymore because he thinks that he's going to end up hurting somebody because of how much of a fuck up he actually is. To which I would agree, and so did the command, so they kicked him out. So we actually get deployed to Afghanistan and he ends up staying back. But it turns out that him getting kicked out of the platoon wasn't the only reason for him staying back. Apparently, back when we were in ITB, he had actually been accused of sending an underage girl a dick pic and was actually currently under investigation for it. Now, he claimed that his phone must have been hacked or someone else got to it, and it was all just some big misunderstanding. Now, we gave him the benefit of the doubt and, innocent until proven guilty. Well, we get back from deployment, and he gets put back in our platoon for some stupid-ass reason, and someone has to be his roommate for some stupid-ass reason. Now, the reason nobody wanted to be roommates with plunger ass was when he was in our platoon before, he never showered and never brushed his teeth, and he actually had this nasty brown film going across his teeth on the front, and claimed that his entire family smelled just like him and had teeth just like him. Yeah, we could smell him and his bullshit too. Also, at one point with his old roommate, he was actually jerking off in his bed while his roommate was asleep in the adjacent bed. And when he woke up and caught him, he just went limp and pretended to be asleep like nothing had happened. Yeah, that didn't work out very well. So anyway, my little squad leader, some bitch, sent out a group text saying whoever replies to this last has to live with him. My phone just so happened at that time couldn't get group text anymore. That's some bitch. So while living with plunger ass, I decided to be nice to him because I didn't want to live in some hostile living environment. Plus, I didn't really want him to do any weird shit while I was asleep. I ended up living with him for about 5 months before I actually learned everything that he had done, to include sending the original girl that dick pic and actually trying to solicit mine for sex using standard pedophile lines such as, "I'm the greatest thing that's ever happened to you and you're not going to find anyone better than me." Now, this was found on his first phone. So naturally what he decided to do was buy a brand new phone and get caught doing the same shit on that phone. Yes, he was so dumb that while he was currently under investigation, he bought a brand new phone and did the same shit he was being investigated for and got caught doing it. So about a month after I find out about everything, the Marine Corps actually lets him go on leave because, what could possibly go wrong with letting someone who's about to go to prison go on leave? I was happy that he got to go on leave because, that was a little bit of time that I got to myself, that I didn't have to live with him. But when he actually did come back, which was a week earlier than I expected, so I was already pissed off, he smelled so terribly. Which normally, while he was living with me, he was actually showering normally because, well, I made him, and didn't smell all that bad. But also, I have a bad sense of smell, so in order for me to actually smell things, it has to be really, really good or really, really bad. And oh my god, it was so bad. So anyway, he comes back from his pre-prison vacation, and he comes back having a brand new tablet that he got as a gift from the airport. Now, me knowing what I did, I figured he had to have some kind of incriminating evidence on there because, well, he was a moron. So for like a week before he actually went to court, I constantly kept telling him, "Hey, you should totally let me have that tablet. I'm really good with computers. I can do a lot of cool stuff with that, connecting it to my computer." The fateful day finally comes, and I have to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning because I have to drive to some other base. And I notice on my desk is the tablet. So I go immediately to it, and it's password locked. Luckily on this drive to court, he was actually still able to use his phone, so when I texted him asking what the password was, he was able to text me back, which is actually good because it proved I didn't steal his tablet or break into the tablet, and that it was actually his tablet. After driving all day, I finally get back to my room and I go straight into the tablet. I look into the photos, nothing. I go into the files, nothing. I start losing hope after about an hour or so, but then I think to go into the browser history. While I was in the browser history, I managed to find a website that he had gone to that had a slogan of, "You can talk to any person of any age anywhere in the world." That wasn't sketchy at all. I was able to find conversations between him and all these underage girls, and after a while I did decide to stop because knowing what I did from his original evidence, I knew there were certain things I just did not want to have a chance of seeing. To elaborate, on his original phone, they had actually found child pornography. Now, I'm not talking about the nude photos that he received from teenage girls, which don't get me wrong, that's bad too. But on his phone, they had found photos of 3 to 5-year-old girls being raped. When I found this out, I was utterly disgusted. I was heartbroken to think about the fact that there was little kids out there having this done to them and he was using it for his own sick, disgusting desires. When I found this out, I wanted to throw him from my window. I actually stopped after about 3 of the conversations, one of which was actually a 12-year-old girl, and text my platoon sergeant and tell him everything that had happened and how I actually found all this stuff. He ended up telling me to take it to the officer of the day, which is kind of like a security guard, kind of. An hour later, I get a call from NCIS asking me if I could come in and give him a statement as a written testimony, and I tell him I would fucking love to, and when can I come in? So the next day, I go in and I tell him everything that happened and how I ended up getting all this stuff. And I ended up asking them what they think was actually going to happen to him. And they tell me that more than likely his plea bargain was actually going to go completely away because of it, and he would end up having to serve his full sentence or even more. I actually don't know if this happened or not, but the last we had heard was that he was actually in solitary confinement in prison because the other inmates were actually beating the shit out of him, and he actually had black eyes because of it. Nothing has ever filled me with as much joy as finding that out. Also, to elaborate as to why I call him Plunger Ass, this is because among the evidence found was a video of him sticking a plunger up his ass. Interestingly enough, I didn't own a plunger, but I did borrow one from one of my buddies one time. He threw it away as soon as I told him. And that is the tale of Plunger Ass, my old pedophile roommate. Thanks for watching the video. Hopefully the story didn't piss you off too much. I know just thinking about him pisses me off to no end. And yeah, I like to think I handled that situation rather well, but comment down below what you guys think. And I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.